Okay. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Little anxious to be here, but I'm all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I see that you were referred here for hoarding disorder.
Yeah, that's what my last therapist told me that I had.
Okay. Um, do you want to give me like a little bit of information on that real fast in your own words?
Yeah, so basically, I just feel like I've kind of always been like this. Like from a young age, I love collecting things, and even when my late wife and I got married, I kept everything that I had from previous apartments and my childhood and everything. She passed away about a year ago, and it's just been really hard ever since then. And our house has always been full of things, my things, but without her around, I feel like I've just been collecting more and more stuff, and I can't like sleep in our room anymore just because it reminds me of her. So I've been sleeping on the couch, um, which isn't ideal because it hurts my back. But yeah, like I said, this has basically been my whole life. So it's hard to put it into a disorder, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't really see like an issue with it.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I read in the notes that you are doing counseling because of your sons, correct?
Yeah, my two adult sons, they're not too happy with me for what the house looks like. And they basically told me that I either need to clean everything up and throw things away, or they're just going to come in and do it themselves. And I don't want them messing with my stuff. So that's why I agreed to go to counseling.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be really distressing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that it's great that you're taking that step, and I know that like being pressured into therapy can be a little anxiety provoking, but I think that we can work together to maybe look at some underlying issues that you might have and um, try to get your house cleaned up maybe a little bit so that your sons will be happy and let their kids come over and we can try to find a way to do it in the most distressing way possible. Um, do you know what cognitive behavioral therapy is?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, so basically, I have a little model right here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have a situation that happens to us that causes automatic thought. Automatic thought causes a reaction, emotional, behavioral, and physiological. So what cognitive behavioral therapy is trying to pay attention to these automatic thoughts and challenge them, um, and finding ways to alter our behavior through that. Um, so basically, could you tell me kind of what your thought process is when, let's say, you have something that like your sons want you to throw away, but you don't want to throw it away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like I've always seen my stuff as what makes me interesting because I've just collected a lot of stuff over the years. Like, I just don't think I'm that much of an interesting person on my own. So when people come over and they see, oh, you have a mug from, I don't know, like Jamaica, like where my family's from, they're like, oh, are you from Jamaica? And I say, yeah, like I was born there. My family moved here when I was really young. It just like sparks a conversation, and that's why I don't want to get rid of stuff because I feel like that's like I said, what makes me interesting. Otherwise, I don't really know what to say to people.
Okay, so you feel like you need something else to make you interesting and make people want to see you and spend time with you because you don't feel like you're good enough on your own.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a really good example. So your automatic thought is basically, no, people don't like me, I'm not interesting.
Hmm.
And uh, what we will start to do is challenging that thought and other dysfunctional patterns of thinking because uh, it's not true that you're not interesting and that people won't want to see you without your collection and everything. It sounds like you just have like some self-esteem problems, and we just need to learn to like interrupt those automatic thoughts. Uh, and same thing goes with like getting new objects, bringing things home, just kind of like examining your thoughts when that's happening. So one thing that I think would be good to start off with is we could create a list of things to go over when you want to bring something home, like questions to answer, like do I need this or do I want this, like where will I keep it, uh, things like that. And that way, if you're trying to buy something like paper towels that you need and that you'll use in everything, like obviously that would be something that you need, that you have a use for. But if you're trying to bring home something that you don't really have room for or a need for, it can kind of make you stop and think about it a little bit. Um, has there ever been a time in your life where your hoarding wasn't as severe as it is right now?
I feel like when my sons were in high school, um, and they were really involved in sports, and I would help coach them. I'd go to all their games, and my late wife Becca would take the time to just go around and get rid of a few like little things, um, because like that's really the only time she could do it. If I was there, it was like really distressing. But if I just came back and certain things were gone, like it just didn't bother me as much, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that was before you retired.
Yeah, that was before.
Okay, so it sounds like right now, you're going through a really hard time. You lost your wife, and um, you sound like you might be kind of isolated. So, if there was a point in your life where you found this all a lot easier to deal with and were able to get rid of stuff without being as distressed, I think that that proves that you can have that again. So maybe we can start to find ways that you can volunteer, like if your grandkids do any sports, maybe you could volunteer helping them with coaching and stuff. Is there any other interests that you have?
Um, I've also loved animals my whole life. I grew up with them. Um, and I really like cats, especially. I've been feeding some stray cats that just hang out outside of my house. They're not like my cats, but yeah, I feel like maybe volunteering with animals, if you know of like anything I can do with them, that might help.
Yeah, there's some local TNR programs. It's trap, neuter, release, and basically you just help them catch the cats, bring them to the vet, and then the vet will either spay or neuter them. And that way, because with feral cats, you can't like turn them into house cats or anything, but then that prevents them from reproducing. And also, if there are cats that aren't feral that like are letting you pet them and get close to them and stuff, the shelter can help find them homes, and um, that might give you more of a sense of purpose. And what about, do your grandkids do sports?
Yeah, I have two granddaughters, and they both just started soccer a few months ago.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we can definitely look into getting you started at the cat shelter, and then you can talk to your kids about seeing if they need a volunteer coach, if that's something that you think you would like.
Yeah, yeah. One of my sons is actually trying to get me to be one of the assistant coaches. He's also one, and he wants me to help out with his daughter, my granddaughter there. So I think that's a good idea.
Okay, good. Um, so we'll start off with making this list together that you could go through if you feel comfortable with that. And then over the next week before we see each other again, you can get set up to start volunteering and everything. Um, I don't want you to just go home and throw everything away. That would be incredibly distressing. We
Mhm.
definitely will do this slow and at your pace, and as long as you keep coming, and we could start working on your self-esteem, because I read your notes and it sounds like you had a very successful career, a marriage, kids, that you're really close with your family. So I think that's a lot of proof that challenges the validity of your issues with your low self esteem. And we could kind of start challenging those automatic thoughts together. Um, if you can, after we make the list today, try to maybe stop acquiring stuff right now, would be kind of the first step, is just not bringing more things in. And then we can work on letting go of stuff later once we've developed some more techniques. I definitely want to go over some like breathing exercises and meditation and stuff to help you calm down, so that if you are able to start letting go of things, you have a coping skill to use if you start feeling distressed. And also, we would start with like small things that you don't care that much about before working up to anything bigger. So if you feel like comfortable enough to get rid of anything uh, small that you won't need, or that you feel like you won't need in the future over the next week, that will be great. But if you can't, that's fine too. So before you go, we'll do the list and we'll go over some breathing exercises. And I think that you seem like you have a lot of love for your family and you seem like a really great person. I think that you'll definitely be able to slowly uh, get to a place where your sons are happy with you and let your grandkids come over.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely really like that.
Okay, good. Well, it was uh, really nice to hear everything about your life. It sounds like you've had a really interesting one. Let's just start making the list and going over some breathing exercises, okay?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.